could have gone to look at Kukini, as it was only a few kilometres away from Niagara, but it was in the wrong direction, and since we saw it on a previous trip, it just didn't seem interesting enough to visit twice. So we turned west and then north towards Gwalia. There was nothing much of interest along the way, so it was just a matter of driving until we reached our goal. To me, Gwalia is fascinating. The old restored mining settlement cowering beneath a hill, where the mine manager's residence looks down in contempt on the meagre homes of the workers. Now, this is what I guess should be called the museum town of Gwalia. Amazing little place. A lot of the old buildings that were just abandoned when the mine originally closed, still here. And they've made big efforts to do the place up and make it interesting for people to walk around. This is the old shops. As you can see, there's been a fair bit of maintenance done to them. Not a lot to see inside there, not in this one anyway. And a collection of old bottles down there. The divide between workers and management is about as stark as it can possibly get here. The old tin miners' shacks must have been freezing cold in winter and boiling in summer. But you can see the trouble many of them went to make them as livable as possible. We're not going to show you a lot of the buildings in Gwalia, mainly because we want people to get out there and have a look for themselves. But we'll give you a quick look at the shops, the old boarding house, and one of the old residences. The old state hotel nearby is being left to rot by the mining company that owns it, and this to me is an absolute disgrace. We only have 2 state hotels left in WA, and to just let such an amazing old building disintegrate is really disgusting. Yeah, still being used as sort of junk storage and bits and pieces for the mine. Really, really irritating to see a wonderful old building like this being treated with such contempt. Yeah, just an awful shame. So much could be done with a building like this, and it's just, words fail me sometimes, I'm afraid. The old cellar door down there is open, but unfortunately no way to go and have a look at it. So it's a little bit funny that there's sinkholes at the back of the pub, but all the other ground around it is nice and stable. Really have to wonder about that sign. It's designed to keep people away from it, I think. Just so happens that there's a sinkhole where the pub is, but 20 yards away on the other side and 20 yards away all around, it's fine. Yeah. After taking our time photographing and filming the old settlement, we made our way up the hill to Hoover House. Despite the blindingly obvious difference in the quality of life between workers and managers, this old house is simply stunning. This is the room we're staying in tonight. The check-in's at 2, so we've got a couple of hours to kill. I'm going to head down to the cafe here, which is just at the back of the house. This will be our opulent abode for the evening. This room is the Hoover room, which is the most expensive. I'm not sure why, as it looks pretty similar to ours, but it's $20 more. Ours is $170 a night. This one's $190, maybe because Herbert Hoover slept here, who knows. Similar layout, just the other way round. And both have very similar bathrooms set up in them. The greenness of this place compared to the rather desolate landscape around it is a real striking contrast. This is one of the reasons we wanted to stay here last time, but thought better of it because of the money, but no. The longer we thought about it after we left, the more we wished we'd stayed. So this time we get to enjoy this until tomorrow morning when we push on. G'day guys, welcome to the evening meal. The place I'm in at the moment is, for me, an amateur historian, absolutely mind-blowing. This is Hoover House up in Gwalia. We're sitting here up on top of a hill, mining all around this side, the old historic village down the bottom, and this absolutely incredible house. This is something you've got to see to believe, and for somebody who's interested in local history, this is sexy as hell. I got to tell you, this is one of the best places I've ever been to. It's an amazingly restored residence. We've had people like, of course, Herbert Hoover, who became the US president, and other people like John Forrest actually dined at the table that I'm looking at inside here. There's a picture of the guy sitting there, and I can sit in the same position he sat in. For me, that's just incredible stuff. I love being here. And we booked in for the night. We're in the Reed room. There's 3 rooms to choose from. And the Reed room is sort of the mid-price one at $170 a night. The cheaper one is $150. The more expensive, the Herbert Hoover room, probably because of the name, I don't know, is $190 a night. I can't express what being here means to me. We came here many years ago and we didn't stay overnight. I had a feeling that I wanted to, and I didn't, and I've been hanging out to get back here and stay here overnight. And wonder of wonders, we have the place to ourselves. Nobody else booked in tonight. We're the only people here, so for now, I'm Lord of the Manor. This is just it's freaking me out. Anyway, I've got to get on with dinner because otherwise things are going to burn. I can't stand talking to you all night. Give you a little squiz at what we're doing. Nice big barbecue out here. The facilities here are brilliant. If you're even slightly interested in mining, in WA history, in soaking up just this amazing atmosphere, I tell you what, come out here, stay at the house. I can't tell you what being here means to me as somebody who's interested in WA history. It's not quite the Holy Grail, but it's bloody close. Anyway, got to get on with the meal. I'll catch up with you shortly. I'll give you a squiz at what I'm doing. No recipes. I'm cooking steak and chips. You don't need a recipe for that. So I'll give you a couple of B-roll pickies, and then we're going to be eating dinner in Hoover House. Ah, ha! I can't believe it. Now I know I'm going against tradition here, and I'm having a bit of red Ned. Nearly empty red Ned, which is rather sad. But I'm just going to kill this bottle tonight. El Cheapo Aldi red Ned. Aldi! How'd you guess I drink Aldi wine, guys? I buy all their camping gear. How could I not drink their wine? It's not bad. Not the best one I've ever had, but it's like $5 a bottle, and that's a litre bottle. So it's drinkable, it's cheap. There you go. Ah, that's going to go down well with the steak. A bit of red wine with a bit of red meat. Okay, and here comes the magic moment where we put on the important ingredient for the meal. Now, what I'm going to do here, initially, let's have a look where the fat sits on these. We've got a bit there. We don't have much there, but we've got a bit there. And one of the tricks with steaks is don't just throw them straight on. Put them end on like that. If they stand up like that, it's brilliant because they're doing exactly what you want them to do. What I want to get is a bit of that fat on the edge burnt or a bit crispy, a bit cooked first before you start to cook the meat. So if you can get your steaks to stand up, great. If you can't, get yourself a pair of long tongs with a, what do you call that, clip. Position them on the side. Make sure they aren't ones you want to pick up without gloves because they'll be hot by the time you're finished. And just get your steaks to stand up on the end like that to start off with, because you can see what's happening already. That meat, that fat, the meat's not going to cook yet because you're standing up away from the heat. Along the edge it'll start to cook. But that initial fat is going to start to get brown and crispy and nice. Do this also with pork chops to get them crispy, get that fat really nice and juicy and crisped up. That's what you want. That fat is going to give you half the flavour of your steak. So anybody who just throws their meat side down first is missing out on a lot of flavour that they're going to get from their steaks. You can see the flames, the fat will drip down onto the flames. The flames will come up, cause more fat to drip down. It'll get the fat out of there and get that nice crispy, yummy beef flavour on the edge. Brilliant. While I'm at it, let's just give the veggies a stir. They're coming along really well. Now, that fat, that's pretty well done. That's good. Now we can pop them on their side. And we start to count. Now, in my head, I count 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. Keep going until you get to about 100. Flip them over. Do it again, and then they're ready to eat. So we're going to whip those off the barbecue now and serve everything up. And here we have the result. Nice, fatty, greasy steak and chips. Now I want to have a little bit of a talk to you about this particular picture. This is sitting on the dining room table at Hoover House. And here you will see 4 blocks. Those 4 blocks are gold. Big, fat lumps of gold. And that, of course, is what this area is all about. At the other end of the table, there is a bar similar to that, Of course it's not made of gold, because I would pinch it if it was. And so would everybody else who comes here. But there is a bar like that currently weighs about 9 kilos. It's made of lead and copper and whatnot. They state that these fellas here weighed 23 kilos each, and those 4, and this was known as the Gold Bar Dinner, were the results of this mine for 1 month. Now this little fellow here represents 1/4 of what they had sitting on the table. It's difficult to even turn that over. Oh my God. And this is fake. This is made mostly of lead, I would imagine. This is 9 kilos, or 9 and a bit kilos. It's mind-boggling to think of something like that weighing more than twice the weight it does now if it was pure gold. And that is what was sitting on the table when John Forrest was just up there. Now the lights in the distance over there is Leonora. We're probably 2 or 3 kilometres away, so very, very close to the town, but just enough removed from it to feel remote, I guess, in a way. And this is the veranda at night, or at least this is the back veranda. And that's where we cook dinner, and unfortunately, after enjoying a nice meal, unless you happen to be rich, you've got to go clean up. And that's what I'm about to do now, and I'm going to say good night, guys, and hopefully you'll keep following our little trip. We will be back moving again tomorrow. We're heading for, well, first off we're going to check out Leonora, we're heading up to Leinster, and then off towards Sandstone. And if everything goes to plan, there's a little dam a little to the west of Sandstone, and we'll be stopping there the night. So when you see us again, we should be on the move tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed having a look at Gwalia and Hoover House. You could probably tell that I enjoyed being here. It's been amazing. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch up with you very shortly.